Congratulations. Ms. Bratton, you want to have a speech? Or...
A dance? No. And I want to bring up Christian Crum, because she nominated our student, and she's going to tackle that about her and present her with her award.
Okay, well, I nominated Miss Mackenzie for Mackenzie. So I've had her now for 3 years, and I think she's just done an amazing job. She's made so much academic progress. She's a model student, and she's a pleasure to have in class. She's friendly to both staff and the students, and she's just a great person, a great student. A very hard worker, diligent worker, and will try anything that's brought across her path. So I'm excited to see where she goes. She's a freshman this year, and I've had her now for 3 years. So I'm able to see her and we get out here, and I'll just have more gray hair. No, it's a pleasure to have her in class, and she's just a great student. She's ranked 16th out of 64 in class, so doing an awesome job. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
I did tell
Good evening.
I'm short.
Wait, what, you need me to go? Elementary, at elementary, not too much, with the break and everything that went on since our last one, but, we did have our red ribbon week. We have to always say that really slowly, to mess that up. October 27th through the 31st, our student council was sat, and Mr. Kent, was able to go around the different classrooms and do some presentations, focusing on drug prevention and those types of things. So that red ribbon week was, October 27th through the 31st. November 3rd to the 7th, we did complete Island Checkpoint 1 at the elementary for ELA and math, 3rd through 6th graders. So we're currently kind of digging into that data. Reports from the state are a little more helpful this year. They've given us a little bit more information than they have in the past. So we're still navigating what the reports and information are giving us, and then how we can kind of adjust some instruction and interventions for our students. Ms. Turchie did an amazing job hosting our 6th grade boys basketball tournament, November 3rd through 6th. Lots of compliments from other schools on the tournament. Our boys unfortunately did not win, but we do want to congratulate Williamsport for winning that tournament that week. So look at me, I talk sports through basketball. Our Veterans Day program was November 11th. Kayla Foltz, which was actually Braxton's mom, was our speaker that day. She served in the Air Force, and she did an amazing job. And it's kind of neat to hear the perspective of a parent and the things that the child had to kind of sacrifice while mom is away. So that was just kind of a neat perspective there. Our book fair is going on this week, and kids are having a lot of fun buying only books. That's all they buy at the book fair is only books. Buying the children. And just an update with our electives that we're still just so excited about. We do have some new courses being offered. Miss Swagey is doing, and I know it sounds like not quite the elective type of course that we've been doing, arts and crafts, but what she means by that, she's teaching macrame, crochet, just some of those more traditional type crafts. So the kids are really enjoying that. She had someone come in today, Bracken was showing her little wristband to demonstrate spinning wool, just those types of little experiences. We have a teacher who's going to be taking on American Sign Language, starting with the return when we come back from break. And then here in about a week, our SRO, junior SRO elective is going to be taking place. It's only being offered once first semester and once second semester, because it's kind of hard to tie down the SROs during that time. But they're bringing in all the things, drums and EMS and all sorts of different things to kind of go over with the students, law enforcement and criminal justice careers. That was all I had. Any questions?
Okay, well, we had our academic honors night. It was really great. We got to recognize a lot of kids at this one, and so that was a lot of fun. Actually, to be really honest, the main feedback we got is we didn't have cupcakes today. But that's a good problem to have. We did open up pretzels, but they weren't quite as popular. But we got to. It was a really neat night for kids, parents, and for teachers to be able to jacket students. So if you don't know, if you're being jacketed, you get to pick the teacher or somebody who's going to impact on you. It's just a lot of fun to watch those relationships. So very cool. And Mr. Smith had just returned from the second surgery, so also really good. Kind of really good kick off, welcoming you back. He was very popular, so just a really cool night. The fall play was awesome. They performed a drama this year, which is different. Usually it's a comedy, so that was new, but it's called Almost May, and they did a fantastic job. And they announced to very high excitement that the musical is going to be Mean Girls. So a lot of people are very excited about that. So they expect, actually, we've heard people practicing for tryouts after school today in classrooms. So everyone is kind of ready for that one. Basin and Wabash girls basketball was last weekend, and the team performed really well. I think we did lose to Park Heritage, but it was very close. And then we won the next game for ourselves. So it was good. We're just wondering. Let's see again. That's what we keep saying. We'll see again. And then the Basin and Wabash cheer competition on December 1st in South Vermilion. And so we're ready to switch to winter sports, and we're excited about that. There is a crowd participation portion of that, so if you do nothing on the evening of December 1st and want to go to the cheer competition, you should join us. We'll probably get Taco Bell. There is a bus going, so you can ride with kids. No? Okay. I'm trying. I'm trying.
I should have stopped at Taco Bell.
Should have stopped at Taco Bell. Otherwise, obviously, Thanksgiving break is coming up. I am at a principals conference, the state conference, next Monday and Tuesday, so I will be out of the office and meeting with all principals in Indiana to hopefully learn and grow. Kara is also going to that as well, and then Ryan and Melissa are going to the assistant principal conference this Thursday and Friday. So they put all the professional conferences for admin right before Thanksgiving, but we're excited about that and looking forward to those opportunities. We are hosting a FAFSA Education Night on December 10th from 4 to 6 p.m. and Ivy Tech is going to come and help families complete that. This is actually a really big deal because the state has made it part of the graduation requirement for every student to have a FAFSA program, whether they have an intention of going to college or not. So that's kind of a hurdle because some kids think, well, I'm not going, I don't need that, but they actually do have to have one. So Mrs. Bean has done a fantastic job putting together an evening where parents can come and get help filling that out because it has not gotten any better, probably since when you all have had to cross that bridge. And so, they're going to come and have a place where Ivy Tech can help our parents and our communities. So we've been pushing that. It's going to be hopefully a event. We also did our checkpoints, and that's what we've been spending our time in PLC, starting to dig in that data. And there's we're restructuring the way we do remediation and pre-planning for those tests. So we're going to have some upcoming meetings where we can kind of hash some of that out and spend some of 2 hour delay time looking at that hopefully and providing for our kids and where they're at and where we want to go and what are their goals. And then the only other thing that I did put on here is we had our high school Aaron's Law presentation, which is the state law about sexual abuse, where we have to present and we have to fill with certain requirements and value professional for that. So we can do good septic control. So those did happen this week and yeah. I think that's it. There's some cool pictures now. Trevor and Mary, I put on some jackets. I didn't include that. She did good. Oh, any questions?
Any public participation?
I did have one question.
Okay.
Where is the microphone to pick up the sound? Because I tried listening to the board meeting. It is hard to hear at times.
It's all.
Yes.
Is it just the computer and that's it? Because I was trying to listen to a couple of things from the last meeting to make sure I could hear what I thought I heard, but in turn, I never really could hear it because what happens is, okay, Mr. Byram, it's like you started off talking on the subject that I'd asked about the greenhouse. Okay, so I was wanting to re-listen to your answer because of what I've read in the minutes was slightly different. So the more you talk, the longer you talked, your voice trailed down. And it got to the point where I really wanted to listen to what I wanted to hear. I couldn't really understand. So I was just curious where the microphone was so that, and then at the same time, Jason had interjected a comment or two, and he was really difficult to understand, just to hear what he said. So I was just curious about where the microphone is because it gets a little hard to hear.
That's good to know, because we don't know unless somebody tells us. And this is the first comment that we've had about our online, since we started in July, actually started in June. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll be also mindful of that when we're speaking and try to make sure we're projecting to where it can be picked up a little bit better.
I was gonna say, the way you were just now would probably sound pretty good to the point you can understand it. It's still, understand, but like I said, yeah, the
There's
part
other
of,
things we can do as well. We've had portable microphones set up here,
okay,
so we'll definitely look into that. So.
okay. Good. That's all.
Right, so we'll move on to the recommendation.
First recommendation I have for you this evening is, it was presented last meeting to publicize the need for an additional appropriation. And so tonight, we need to take action and vote on that additional appropriation. It's listed there in your packet. It would be $500,000 in the education fund and $200,000 in the rainy day fund. And for those, for additional appropriation, once you set up appropriations in January, you can have extra money, it's just as cash, but you can't spend that unless it's in an appropriation. And so, with the raises and with the Senate bill, or Senate Enabled Act 1, with the change of the base salary, it was a little bit more than what we were thinking last January, and so to cover that, we need to do the additional appropriation. So that's what that's for. So I'm asking for your recommendation for the vote on that tonight.
Okay, so we'll need a motion on the additional appropriation resolution.
I'll make the motion, right? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Second thing for you tonight is the 2026 school board meeting calendar. It reflects pretty much what we did this past year. I will just make a couple notes that January, unless you guys decide that you don't want to meet on the typical Tuesdays that we do now, which we can change that. And if you want to have more discussion, we can table this. But it represents what the 26 calendar in correlation to the 25 calendar would be. We do need to meet early in January because you have to have your board re-elections by the 15th. The only other change is I did move back the September meeting to the fourth Tuesday because you can't start collaborative agreement negotiations until September the 15th. And we had to move our meeting this year because of that. And so that gives us an extra week to start those negotiations. Other than that, everything else, I think in March is a little early because of the spring break. So I'm recommending, unless you want to have discussion and choose a different day, that would be the board calendar.
Any discussion on that? Everybody good with that? Okay, so we'll need a motion for the 2026 board calendar.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
The next recommendation I have for you is the 2026-2027 school calendar. The way the calendar works next year, it's a little bit different than this present year in that if we mirror what the other 4 schools do that we share with the WRCPE and our special education cooperative, we are pushing back spring break 1 week later in March than we normally would. The other thing is the way the calendar days line out. We would be done before Memorial Day weekend. So graduation would be on the 22nd, and Memorial Day weekend would be the following weekend. So we'd be done a little earlier than what we normally would be the way the calendar falls. We would still start at the same first week of August, the first 2 days being teacher work days. Students will start on the 5th. We still have our planned 2-hour delays in there. But then we would be done on the 20th of May with graduation on the 22nd. So that does mirror with the other schools. And so it makes a big difference when we're sharing students and transportation. So that's what I'm presenting tonight. I did meet with the other 4 superintendents and the CTE director, which she was like, thank you so much for doing this because it's a nightmare. For years, we never had it together, and it's been so nice this year to have them all together. And so that's the recommendation.
Any questions or discussion about this calendar? Okay, so we need a motion to approve the 2026-2027 school calendar.
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. But next, we do not need any board action on this. This 2 times a year, we have updated revisions from Neola, which is our governing policies. And so I meet with our Neola rep, and he sits down with me and said, this is all the new state laws. We did some of these back in the fall, and this is the second round to do that. So there's 18 policy revisions. The overview is in your packet. If you would like to see the entire policy, you can either go to Neola and check it out, but you can see the old policy and you can see where the revisions are. There were some changes to the non-discrimination guidelines and policy, so those are in there as well. There's about 24 in total. So this is just the first reading. You have to have 2 readings before it can be approved. So I always just would like to say, if you take a look at this and something's like, hey, I'd like to read more of this policy, you just let me know, and I can send it your way, or you can come in and you can look at the policy in its entirety. Some of these policies are 13 pages long, and a lot of the revisions, some of them are just changing your pronouns, some of them are changing from may to shall or shall to may, or with all the new educational laws that came out with this past general session, there was just a lot this year. So usually there's not this many, but this year there is. So it's just the first reading. So you don't need to take an action on that. We just need to have it in the minutes that was presented to you for the first reading. The next thing is Mr. Davis is starting up a youth wrestling program. I think it's a great idea. In your packet is the letter that explains a little bit about the program. This is kind of a community thing, not a North Vermillion school type thing. Kind of like our youth, the community youth football and baseball and softball. One of the requirements that we do have is that you have to, meet with Mr. Brown and make sure that you're not overstepping on usage of the facility when it comes to our sport teams. And then you have to carry your insurance. His insurance certificate is also included in the packet. So we would need to have a board vote to allow them to have their youth wrestling program.
All right, so we need a motion for the community wrestling program.
Make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item in your recommendation packet is a bus bid. We've had some problems, not problems, we've just had a lot of turnover with one of our routes. We did have someone who bid on that route and was interested in bidding on the route again, who has acquired another bus and another driver. But I would like to table that tonight because there's some things that we need to work out a little bit before we take action on that. So it was in your packet because we felt like maybe there was a good thing that we could do sooner than later, but I want to slow down and make sure we're doing the right thing before we make something permanent. So I'm going to ask to table the bus bid until the next meeting. I don't think we need to vote on the table unless you might have, yeah,
Just mark it up.
just mark it up. We do have one field trip request from the elementary school. The special area teachers have requested to take a reward trip with some students who have earned it to the skating rink in Danville, Illinois, and because it's out of state, it needs board recommendation. Or board approval, sorry.
Okay, so we need approval and a motion on the field trip.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Go from what?
It's roller, is it roller skating, right? Ice skating?
Ooh.
Is the nurse going?
Probably shouldn't.
Thank you. Next item is personnel. We do have one lay coach resignation. This letter is in your packet. We can read that from Artie Kilgore. I don't know if you want to read the letter or if you want to read the letter. He just wants to express his sincere gratitude for the opportunity to work with student athletes. His time working in softball has been one of the most rewarding experiences. It will always hold a special place in his heart. The lessons learned, relationships built, memories made will stay with me for years to come. I've been very thankful for the opportunity to serve these teams and community. I truly value my time here and proud of the accomplishments the team has made during my time here. I wish the softball program the best of luck in future seasons. Artie's done an outstanding job. One of the winningest coaches we've had in the softball program. When you look at the overall records, so I would like to publicly thank Mr. Kilgore for the service that he's done with that team. It's been a while. Yeah. Good guy. Do you want to go through all of these and go to one after the first one? We have one maternity leave request. Kayla Chu from the elementary is requesting maternity leave from February the 16th and a return date of May 25th, which is the last day of school, so she'll take off the rest of the school year for maternity leave. We have, I'm asking, we just did raises when we ratified the contract for certified teachers. I'm asking for your approval tonight to also give raises to classified staff. And so the percentages are there. There's 2 percentages because we want to add 7% to at least the bus drivers because it's getting competitive out there to get them. And what we pay is not, we're getting outbid by other schools. So I'm asking for 7% for bus drivers and also 7% for our executive admin staff that work extremely hard, extremely late, preparing all kinds of things. And we do an outstanding job. So I'm asking for that. Appointments tonight, we have Mr. Nathan Butts. He is in a dual role with ICS, which is our technology affiliate, but he's working at the school every day with us, so we have a constant. They had somebody that we had, and that person is no longer in that role, and so in a joint agreement, we would like to hire Mr. Butts. Tia Simmons, and we have a couple ECA positions. Tia Simmons with the new application and ECA positions for the elementary concession stand manager. And then Mr. Brown, who has been doing the high school concession stand manager, but because it was retitled in the ECA contract, we need to board to vote on that as well. So those are the personnel things for you tonight. you have any questions on anything. Briefly.
So we'll just vote on these as a group then? So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that, to approve the, personnel changes as presented. Second.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Okay, treasurer's report.
All right, claims for 62,426, 62,544, and an amount of $649,444.98. Along with payrolls for October 10th, 2025, and an amount of $218,831.16. And also October 24th, 2025, and an amount of $184,222.91. I make a motion to pay the claims and payroll.
Second.
All in favor?
Just superintendent updates and just a little bit on the projected education and operations monthly budget cash flow. If you look at the top right-hand corner on the education fund, you'll see what our cash balance is from where we started to where it's projected to end. I'm not sure you can get any better than that. So I wish I could take all the credit for that. I can't get thinking that. You'll see the only thing really that's noticeable difference is if you look at November and December, in your basic grant from the state, that's what we get per month. You'll see quite a bit of an increase there. That is with the new law, the new 2% increase. And so also our ADM count was up, and so it's a good thing. Other than that, the education fund is really, really good. If you turn the page on the operations, again, this is one that we're going to be watching. Not so concerned right now than I am when we get to 2027. I think we're going to see more of an effect with the homestead tax during there. So we're going to watch that. But if you look at the very bottom of the appropriations fund, there's that percentage appropriation remain. So you want to, again, the budget is really, really good. You want to stay above zero at the end of December. And so we're projected to be right there. So pretty good, pretty good. I don't think that there's anything that there's major that we need to be preparing for right now. But something to think about is we are getting ready to do a technology refresh that's going to be expensive. And so where that money is going to come from, we have some options which we will talk about once I have some numbers to present to you on what it's going to cost and what that's going to look like. And that'll probably be in February.
Do you have a number for the cost on it?
Not yet. We're looking at the different devices and cheaper ways to do things.
When do you think you'll have the budget? How much?
Well, I want to wait till we get to the 26th and lay out all the appropriations for the year. And then we'll see where we think we have some funds, and we have them. We just don't want to put ourselves in a place where we get to the end of next year and we're asking for another additional appropriation when we're really getting into cash.
I was wondering if you knew what
I think it's going to be somewhere
the
between,
technology part of it.
it's going to be probably between 400,000 and 500,000. So we've got some options to look at on where we want to take that from. And that, I think, will probably be a discussion in either a working meeting or at least a meeting probably in January, February to discuss that. So,
Do you know yet what the effects of the expansion of Duke Energy is due?
I don't. I know they, with the approval of the go forward,
Yes.
I do not know the effects of that.
Yeah, I mean, construction has started.
I've been told that to expect an influx of people with their workforce,
Yeah,
but
I'm just wondering, maybe I'll ask the question. Which is, when that tax revenue is going to start, if there is, do they get a break for a while? What's the details behind it?
I don't know.
I can chase it.
And I can't
Who
too.
knows what?
I don't know. Rick Berger probably has that information that I could contact him.
Because my understanding is the coal plant is not being shut. It's gonna stay online. They took advantage, and it's staying under the ownership of Duke. They took advantage of the new state law. Now, coal plants have to remain running for so many years, 30, 27 or something like that. And so Duke Energy was like, well, then why would we sell it?
Yeah.
We'll just keep it. And so, and then they're gonna build a new plant, gas plant, beside it there. And so that's gonna add AV to the operation.
Should.
So are we gonna get to that?
Well, again, when the assessed value goes up,
Yeah.
tax rates go down. But one thing that we want to be mindful of is really not the rate as much as it is the levy. We got to make sure that we don't get ourselves in a situation where the levy decreases and then we can't get any more without. So, but that's something that I would definitely want to find out, and probably will once. I don't know.
Exactly, you know, 27 might be too soon. They didn't take that, but, you know.
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, the other updates is, Mrs. Britton mentioned, I went to the state superintendent's conference last Tuesday and Wednesday, which was really good. It was my first time doing that, so I got to network and got to hear some really good renowned speakers. Assistant Principals Conference is this Thursday, Friday. Principals Conference is next Monday, Tuesday. So I'm glad that our leaders are able to go and get refreshed a little bit. We do have, the state has pushed out some information on the new accountability model. We dug into that today. As a leadership team, we spent some really good time and had some good discussions digging into what they're doing with that and how you get points to get your new letter grade that's going to be effective coming up. And so there's some good things. The state's idea is to meet us halfway instead of just going by cut score. How can you get points? And they've given us a list of ways, and we're going to make a presentation for you on how we're going to do that and what that looks like for public schools, probably in January. Something that we also discussed is we really want to get into more. We know we need to improve some math scores. We are making that. It's always been high priority, but we want to make it more intentional. And so we had some things that we talked about today. We really feel like we need another time frame to look at that and really start being intentional. So it was brought up that we might ask to do another planned e-learning day, not e-learning day, 2-hour delay, the last day of school before break, December the 19th. We're still talking about what that looks like, but we may end up doing that, where we would just have another planned 2-hour delay like we do tomorrow. We don't have one planned in December. That was done on last year's calendar. In hindsight, I'm not sure we need one, but after our discussion today, it would be really good if we could get something ready to go to implement starting in January. We just feel like it's necessary to do this sooner than that. And so we had some great discussions today. I want to thank my team for that. Just a lot of good discussions. It's a great idea. So we really want to be intentional, and that's going to be corporation-wide, not just classroom or building, corporation-wide. So we're excited to talk more about that. So, but other than that, Thanksgiving's a week away. Christmas is 5 weeks away, and really it's been a good month so far. So appreciate that. I have nothing else.
Anybody else? Never hold your peace, Sonny. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you very much. There are, I don't know, did you get everybody to sign? What they need to sign?
Out there.
Yes.
That's the worst